Hey guys, today we're working on the 08th MS team build that we talked about in a previous video. If you didn't see that, go check out part 1. But today we got new things to add and we're going to start working on that foam cutting for the base. See you guys inside. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. As I said, we are going to focus on starting the shape of the base. So the base, I'm going back to an episode where 2 of the RX-79s had to sit at the bottom and the other one, the EZ8, was circling around to get up above and basically start a second angle on this ridgeline on the enemy. But all 3 of my Gundams are going to be waging combat together like they're charging an enemy up a ridgeline. That's the goal with this, as we kind of talked about with the original plan. And to do that base, we're going to use the 16-inch diameter wood plate that I showed you in the last video. Then we're going to use this Home Project green paneling to start building the form. So you can acquire this at pretty much any home hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, all of them. But I'm also going to show you the wire cutter that I use. So this is a heated wire that just cuts this stuff like butter and makes shaping this into form really simple and a really great tool. What do we still need to do? So after this video, we still need to build an RX-79. And I managed to acquire a Zaku 2 in the correct scale of the 1/100. So we're abandoning the hover tank because there's just not going to be enough room on the model for the hover tank. But we're going to build this guy, then we're going to destroy it. At least we're going to have battle damage and make it look like he's broken. And all that painting stuff will be coming up here in the upcoming weeks. But a lot to do, a lot over on the desk to show you that wire cut, the heated wire cutter that I use. It's a really nice set with 4 different options. Plug in and start cutting. It's really kind of great. It is a hot tool, so not really for kids. Definitely want to be protective. Do this in a well ventilated area because you're cutting styrofoam with heat. It's gonna stink and, you know, fumes. So definitely have a good way to vent those fumes out of the house and be away from a smoke detector. You don't want the fire department showing up because you're cutting foam. But with that said, we're going to move over to the desk and we're going to take a look at this stuff. Now, we're going to cut the foam. We're not going to totally do the base. We're going to start working with it. We're going to get kind of our initial shape, because once we have the initial shape kind of laid down, we'll use sculpting putty or sculpting compound to kind of fill in, give that terrain look, and help with making it look like ground. We won't do that today. That'll be in the future. Today is just getting that foam cut, kind of getting initial. I realized it didn't have adhesive, so yeah, we'll have to glue that together and then we'll do more foam cutting in the next time we work on the base and start putting that mold compound down. So here comes the fun of that. So let's hop over to the desk. Let's take a closer look at that wire cutter and also start looking at cutting that foam. Hope you guys enjoy and we'll catch you over there. Alright guys, so here's the kit that I was talking about. So this is the foam cutting kit that I use. Rogter, I think is the brand, but you can see, like I said, here's the side cutter. This is the top cutting wand, and they just interchange out of the handle. So then you've got your straight just cutting wands. They just interchange. There's a long and a short. It comes with the additional wires. Wire brush for cleaning up, and the power cord all in this really nice plastic case. I don't think this one was very expensive. I'll put a link down in the description for this one down below. That way you guys can go take a look at this one out on Amazon. It's been a very handy kit. I like using it. I haven't gotten to use it very much, but we're going to use it today. So I'm going to get my power cord and I'm going to get the short wand, because those are the 2 that I will need for what we're about to do. And I'll close that up and move off to the side. So, hot wire kit for foam can be really great for molding, shaping, and cutting. Definitely a great tool to keep in your arsenal and work on. So, I'm going to get this plugged in so we can start heating it up and start cutting this. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to cut the initial foam and start creating the ridge line on the base here. That's the initial goal for today. Just start getting through it. Like I said, next video, we're either going to build the Zaku or we're going to build the we're gonna build the other RX 79 that we're going to need for the model as well. So basically the plan has changed. There's going to be a ridge line, a broken Zaku, and you'll see our 3 Gundams advancing, explosions, turf, mud, up this hill. I'm basically going back to an episode where they had to attack a ridge line. And that's kind of where I'm starting at. Now you'll see that wire is turning blue. That means this thing is heating up. You can barely see it there, but it means this thing is getting hot. And what I've done is I've already drawn the diameter on the foam here. And essentially, what I should be able to do, and you can hear it, you can just see how easy I'm cutting through the foam. Now I'm going to do this in chunks. I plan on using the chunks. But boom, bada bing, bada boom, we're through. You want to definitely make sure you're in a nicely ventilated area when you do this. But for this big old chunk of foam, that wire, and I know you can't really see a lot of it on the camera, but it's just making short work of this foam. And if you make a mistake, it really doesn't matter. Just like that. Makes it real easy to work on stuff like this. And get large sections cut out really quick and really easy. You just got to take your time. Don't put too much force against it. Let the heat do its job. Just let the heat do the cutting. Now some people may be screaming, Mike, why are you doing that? I want the chunks too. So I could have just put the straight rod tool on and cut this out, but I want these chunks to help build up the ridgeline. I don't know why that all of a sudden is being a pain to get out, but there we go. And basically I'm just cutting the circular, what will go on top of the wooden base right now is the piece that I'm cutting. Then I will use these chunks to start working as part of the ridge line that we're going to create on here to create the mounds. But like I said, just take it slow, take it easy, let the heat do the cutting. Really simple, really easy tool to working on with this. And I'm not even worried about a perfect circle because I'm even going to cut down the sides of this once it's adhered to the base. But you guys can see it just cuts like butter. And I'm going to come in from this side. Uh-oh. Oop, I accidentally turned it off. That's not good, but you can kind of see some of the smoke woofing away. That's just it on the wire. So, and then I'll just come back in and keep cutting away. And I'm not worried about perfection with this. I want to get as close as I can. Make sure not to get it anywhere near my hands, because last thing I need is a 3rd-degree burn today. And boom, there we go. Main cut done. All right, so I'm going to set my foam aside to the side here. I'm going to put my chunks up here in my blower. So the chunks give me stuff to build up with. So we have our initial base, and what I'll do is, it's not perfect to the wood. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll take this at an angle and run it around to kind of create that shape, but I don't want to do that until I have the ridge line on here. So right now I want to shut this off, and I'm going to hold on to it till it cools. Then I can start using this extra stuff to kind of start building up this ridge line that I kind of have envisioned. that they're going to be going up. And basically what I'm really doing is I'm using these as a filler layer to kind of create that. So basically I'm going with the waste not, want not philosophy. I'm not going to waste chunks of this just because it's been cut off, and that I don't want to waste it. So basically that's creating the bottom, the next layer, and that piece that I was cutting on, it's going to come in. I'm going to power on. I'm going to cut another layer out of it. Start raising up that ridge line, and actually I'm going to remove some of this. Still plan on using it all, but essentially what I want to do start keeping my form. So ridge line, these pieces will help start making the shape as I kind of domino them back together. And I may not use every single one in here, and that's okay. And it doesn't hurt. Cut them up in the chunks either, because I'm going to use a molding compound over the top of all this. And plus, there will be some areas that I even make divots in here to make like a trench line or a skid mark. This is just getting the initial shape. So, and I'll switch camera views here in a minute so that you guys can have kind of a better view of what I'm doing. Matter of fact, I hope this works. Oh, I was afraid that wasn't going to work. My camera doesn't want to play ball. That's okay. Give me 1 second. I'll unplug that, plug that back in. All right, so we're going up the ridge line, and we're using our chunks of foam that we already had. So basically I'm going with waste not, want not. But you guys can see how advantageous this tool is. I mean, it just makes the foam work so simple. And once I glue this together, I can use the same wands and start coming in and urging them into curves, creating those static rock-like formations like I just did into the foam, cutting it in those angles. So let's see if the camera decided to play ball. Nope, not going to play ball today. That's okay. But you can see, I mean, I can go in this and easily just make cuts and stuff like that to create the rock work and effect with the wires to really start giving these shapes some form. So what I'll do is I will use some a gluing compound, and I'll start gluing this together. And basically, I want to make sure I turn this off. I need to hold on to that for a second. Basically now I can bring the Gundams in and start having them going up the fire line. I could have the broken Zaku laying over the edge here like it's been shot and have them fighting up the ridge line. So kind of a really cool, interesting way to kind of start a base. This construction foam is fairly cheap. You can find it at most hardware stores and stuff like that, like Lowe's, Home Depot, stuff like that, to really kind of get going. So the start of our base is there. I've seen some people do this with like spray foam and stuff like that, and I just don't like doing that. This hard foam is nice because once I have it together, I'll use this to do some shaping, and then I don't think I can reach it. I'll use some molding compound that I'm very much trying to reach. I'll mix it. Here we go. This molding compound can easily be found on Amazon. I'll use this sculpting compound to really kind of get in there and make the terrain, and kind of like working with clay, but I'm using the sculpting compound like plaster to fill in gaps and create the rock terrain in there. So definitely kind of a fun thing to do. But guys, here's the actual model starting to take some shape. I kind of wish the other camera was working. I don't know what's up with it, why it has decided to forsake me tonight. That's okay. And you can kind of get an idea of what's going on, and you know, just the awesome fun of it. Oh, hey, that's a different camera. Hang on a second. Let's rotate you. Here we go. There we go. There's kind of a different view. This camera is actually there for me to move, but you can see how the foam is kind of all working together. Once I glue it all together for the next video, we'll really start doing some shape in. We'll start getting the molding compound, and yeah, then we've got to build a couple models, and we'll be moving forward. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, enjoyed seeing an awesome tool that is worth having in your arsenal. This wonderful cutter, heat cutter for foam. And again, if you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and also hopefully you'll hit that like button and let me know we're doing stuff that you want to see and is hopefully just downright fun. So thank you guys. I hope to see you in the next video.